Are you someone who considers yourself sensitive to other people's energy? To the point where you're always absorbing other people's emotions and feelings? You may even come out of a conversation with someone feeling drained. Or you could even be repeating the same patterns or the same relationships with people over and over again, like you're stuck in the same cycle. If this is you, if you're someone who considers yourself empathic, you may also have issues dealing with poor energetic boundaries. Now, what are energetic boundaries? All human beings have an electromagnetic field around them, right? This has oftentimes been referred to as the human aura, but it's been referenced by cultures for thousands of years. Even Pythagoras had mentioned it in his work, right? Now, we are understanding that everything in the universe is energy, okay? Even emotions and feelings are energy, and they have their own energetic frequency tied to them, all right? So within our electromagnetic field, we are housing our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings and emotions, right? And so feelings and emotions of shame and guilt, right? They have their own energetic frequency, and oftentimes it is of a lower nature. So people don't want to be with these feelings in their aura or in their electromagnetic field. So they will project it onto others. They don't want to hold on to their own shame and guilt. Now, if you have weak energetic boundaries, you are a target to always be accepting in other people's emotions and feelings that they don't necessarily want to deal with, right? Our energetic boundaries is basically that line that separates our own thoughts, beliefs, and emotions from other people. But when they're weak, right, where we don't know the difference between what's our own and what is someone else's, right? Our energetic boundaries are what define our sense of self. It is what gives us separation from the rest of the world and from other people. It's essentially our borders. But if we have weak borders, anything can come in and out and we're not in control of it, right? Energetic boundaries also protect us, right, as we recently discussed, but they also filter in. So if you have strong energetic boundaries, you can choose to filter in energies of love and compassion from others while filtering out rejection, shame, guilt, rage. Our energetic boundaries are also responsible for magnetizing certain types of people or certain types of experiences to ourselves. So what are some signs of poor energetic boundaries? Well, our energetic boundaries essentially become too permeable or too rigid when we've incurred any form of trauma or any real personal violation. It essentially weakens this magnetic field around us to kind of being porous and letting other things in. So we touched on it briefly in the opening, right? But if you're attracting the same events and people to you over and over again, right, of a negative nature, of a negative consequence, it oftentimes means that you have poor energetic boundaries. If you're attracting partners who are narcissistic or who are sociopathic, right? Or you're constantly being abused and taken advantage of at work, no matter what job or career you go into, it is a function of you magnetizing low energetic frequential experiences to your being. Also, feeling drained and utterly exhausted after talking with someone, right? We kind of equate this to being around energy vampires. That's also a sign of poor energetic boundaries. If some people come to you just to dump on you and you find yourself absorbing all the feelings and emotions they don't want to deal with, well then yeah, you have poor energetic boundaries. Also, a lot of people take a lot of pride in their empathic abilities, this notion of feeling the thoughts, emotions, beliefs, right? Feelings of those people around them. However, it can get to a point where it's not healthy. It can reach this degree to where we're constantly taking in everything from everyone else to where we can't differentiate what's our own and what is someone else's. This is a function of poor energetic boundaries. Gets to the point where it's not a gift anymore. It's a curse, okay? And you have to go through steps to strengthen these boundaries. So you're just not taking in everyone else's stuff. You have to be selective. This was happening to me when I was in law school. I would walk into my classroom and I would take in the anxiety of everyone else sitting around me, and I couldn't separate myself. This was due to a lack of boundaries on my part, all right? Also, when we go into the energy spectrum, we talk about some people receiving downloads when they wake up, right? You kind of wake up and you have this knowing about something. But what happens when you're receiving too much information? What happens when you wake up and it's just like you're in overload? You don't know how to make sense of it. You're just overwhelmed with the amount of information that feels like entered into your consciousness. Once again, poor boundaries. You are allowed to set boundaries with the types and the amount of information that you are taking in within your consciousness, okay? Also, we have the healer syndrome or the wounded healer syndrome. If everyone is always coming to you for healing help and they just want you to heal them and they don't and there's nothing in return for it, right? There's no payment, there's no mutual reciprocal relationship. It's just, hey, come here and heal me, thank you, and they're done. This is once again a sign of poor boundaries, okay? A lot of people have this wounded healer syndrome where people only derive their value from being able to help others to the point where they get nothing else in return. So then how do we strengthen our energetic boundaries? Well, the first step is you have to ground yourself and you have to become physically embodied. When you feel like you're airy or you're like really not fully home or there, it means your consciousness itself is kind of disassociated, not located within the physical body, so things can kind of enter into your energetic field. You have to bring your awareness and draw it down, okay? So what that means is feeling your feet on the ground, really directing your awareness down into your feet. Also, it means breathing in and drawing and directing that inhale down into the lower half of your body. Send the energy within your body down to the lower half so now everything's not swirling up in your head. Also, you must begin to bring your awareness inward. Notice what your feelings and emotions are in the moment. Own and accept your emotional state. This is yours. But at the same time, try and to release stuck emotions on an exhale. If you find guilt and shame, feel into them and see if you can release them. But more so than anything else, become conscious and aware of your own internal environment and accept it that this is your own, right? Next, we have to set a clear intention. Everything in the universe is actually about intention, okay? And you are using your intention every day. Whenever you are walking, you are setting the intent to move your left leg forward and then your right leg forward in front of that, right? So same thing with boundaries. All you merely have to do is set an intention, all right? My intention is I simply say, I only allow in the energies of love and compassion from other people, and everything else is filtered out, right? I can also visualize myself in a white egg of light, just something that is giving the mind this notion of we are in our own safe space and we're not taking in energies that don't belong from other people, right? And we hold that intention. Now, when we go out in the world, we become conscious of when our internal environment shifts. And does it shift when we walk into another room, or is it because we talk to a different person? Or is it because we even watch media, television, right? Even messages from media can come into our field, okay? So when you notice there's a shift in your internal environment, ask yourself, is this mine? Do I feel drained after talking to someone? Did my thoughts just change when I entered into a room, like right away? When you ask yourself, is this yours, and you kind of feel your body give you a no response, like contracts, and it's like, right? It's a little bit this feeling of like disgust maybe, like this isn't ours. Set an intention to send it back, right? Just go, this is not mine. I send it back to whoever it came from, okay? And really ground yourself in that attention. Breathe into that feeling that you took in and then release it on the exhale and visualize yourself just sending it back out. When you repeatedly do this, you are setting the intention and you're kind of building this message within the unconscious mind that we are not accepting lower frequency emotions or things that aren't ours and aren't meant to be ours, right? And as you do this time and time and time again, it becomes its own muscle. And no longer are you burdened with other people's feelings and thoughts and beliefs to this point where you can't differentiate who you are anymore, right? Strengthening your energetic boundaries is important. No, I am not as empathic as I used to be, right? I can't feel the things off people that I used to be able to feel, but hey, I'm here more and I'm a lot more grounded in my experience. And that is well worth it, okay? It is not your responsibility to take on the load of everyone else. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below on your issues dealing with being empathic or being sensitive to other people's energy. Thank you.